After Chrono Odyssey's beta, the future of the game has been a little bit unknown. All the hype that the game had behind it became disappointment when the beta just wasn't working correctly. Bugs, performance issues, the combat not being fun, there's a lot of issues with this game. And especially considering that this game is supposed to come out in 2025, it's very, very scary. But they haven't given up. The CEO of the company, the game director of the game, keeps responding over and over again to feedback of the players. And today we finally have a huge amount of changes to what the future of the game will look like. And believe me guys, it is a lot. In this video we're gonna go through what the changes are, more or less, because they're a lot, and see if you should be excited or not. And honestly, I don't think it's looking as bad as we thought at the start. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Go to my Ko-Fi if you want to support my content. Go to my Twitch to watch me live every morning. And let's get into it. Here we have the entirety of the post with all of the changes, guys. And it is a lot. It is a lot of expansion, very technical at that, on everything they are actually changing. From performance, from graphics, to combat and open world. Everything in the game is right here. So we're gonna go through everything. But to be honest, the fact that they're actually doing this, that they care enough to make a huge post of this, I think is very reassuring. Do we know that the game is going to be great? No, we don't. But the fact that they actually do this, that they're working on it, they're telling us exactly what their plan is and what they're changing, I think it gives me a lot of hope that not only do they care, but also they're not going to abandon this game. I don't think it's going to come out in 2025 though, especially with all these changes. And there's one thing that we're going to talk about later that scares me a little bit. Alright, let's start. So the first thing they talk about is controls and kind of responsiveness, the combat, how the game really works when you engage with it. One of the biggest issues of Chrono Odyssey was the movement, was the combat, the way that everything worked. And they talk about this. They talk about how they want to change the way that whenever you get hit, the game interacts with you, that it feels responsive, that it feels like you're actually getting hit. The same applies the other way around, that whenever you hit something, you feel like you're hitting something. It feels satisfying. It feels like you're doing damage to your enemy and not something that feels very clunky and kind of like sloppy. They also talk a lot about the builds and how weapon swapping is a bit weird and it doesn't really work very well. It's instant. You can just press it as many times as you want and it doesn't feel very good. They're gonna add a little bit of a cooldown so you can't just press it and sometimes get punished because, I don't know, you press it too many times and you ended up switching weapons too fast. There's also gonna be a lot more changes in terms of skill synergies, so your build doesn't feel like every build from other classes. So, you know, the warrior feels different than the ranger and everything else, because honestly, when we played, it felt a little bit like, yeah, we have new abilities, but it all plays the same, and I think it's a very good idea. They did talk about how they want to get a new system for, like, essentially talents that is going to be called matrices, but I mean, look, it's just going to be more talents. We already have them in Chrono Odyssey. This is the one we had before, and of course it depends on the weapon, how it changes, but all the abilities here were a bit weird. There was not really a lot of choice to be had. The descriptions were kind of weird. The stats in the character sheet just didn't really explain what they actually did, and they're actually changing all of this, overhauling all of it. They also talk about how the monster AI was a little bit scuffed, and it would just be very unbeneficial for range builds. So now there's gonna be different types of AI for different types of builds, so you cannot abuse it in some way. They also talk a lot about the UI and how, well, it was made for console, and this time we're actually gonna get a PC optimized UI instead of just a console, so that way everybody can have a good experience. This was a big issue for a lot of people who play the game, so I'm very happy that they're going for this. That is the entirety of this part. They're changing a little bit of the camera so it's a bit easier to see, but that's the entire thing. Now, in terms of content, there is a lot. They're changing the difficulty so it's a little bit easier to actually go and understand the game without getting smushed by the first Chrono Gate, the first boss. You'll have to get to level 5 instead of 3 to get there, and you'll also get an NPC to help you. This is very good because in MMORPGs, guys, let's be real, people are not very good at these games, and they will instantly quit as soon as they feel frustrated. So yeah, there needs to be some frustration, but I think it was a bit too much for Chrono Odyssey. The HUD is also going to get reworked so you can actually see better and does not have an insane amount of numbers. It'll also give you customization so you can do it on your own and make it look the way that you want. In terms of content, there's going to be a lot more changes to the world. More gathering materials, more points of interest, more places to go with different biomes like swamps, misty forests, wildflower fields, and grasslands. Better pathing so you can know where you can go and where you can't instead of just it making no sense whatsoever. The world map will also have more markers so you actually know where, where's something that you can actually want when you actually want to explore. There's going to be more things to explore too and more rewards for them. Whenever you're gathering or just interacting with something in the world, it'll be less clunky. You're not going to be in a situation where you have to just rotate around the rock to mine it because you can only mine it in a very particular angle. The gathering will also be easier to understand. You'll get more gold from quests, and there'll be a bit more of an explanation with what you can do with gold, and the enhancement will be a bit more satisfying by making it so you don't have to enhance over and over and over and over again, but instead just one go, boom, get to the max level, and also make it so you just don't keep getting materials over and over and over again, but just one in one go, a lot of them in one go, so you know that you can enhance something and be ready for it, get your gear ready. Better rewards as well from quests and things that you can do in the world. Dungeons are gonna be remade. We're gonna get some dynamic experience from each of these dungeons. Different bosses will appear, treasure chests, and other events. The dungeons will have more gimmicks, so it doesn't feel like you're just doing the combat over and over again. Trials are gonna have a special roguelike new effect. There's gonna be better variety in terms of the tiles. Labyrinths will give you a better respawn point, so that way you don't have to start from the beginning, and you'll get more revival points. Temporals will also be more varied, with more gimmicks, with more things to do, and Chrono Gates will get more replayability, so you can do them over and over again. I do think these are things that are good, but also at the same time, I'm a bit afraid that they're kind of like supplying their lack of good content and good encounters with just gimmicks. I think it's okay to have certain gimmicks that are fun, but at the same time, you can overdo it. You can see this with Guild Wars 2 and their mount combat. It's not that much fun, and it's trying to replace something that honestly shouldn't be replaced because the Guild Wars 2 combat is good. If Chrono Odyssey has very good combat, you don't have to get a lot of gimmicks. You can have some of them to just get a little bit more variety, but at some point it's going to be too much, and I do get a bit afraid that maybe they're just overdeveloping this. Too many systems, too many gimmicks. Just make the base of the game, the canvas of the game good, and you'll be fine. The beta of Chrono Odyssey, guys, it had a lot of bugs, a lot of performance issues, a lot of lighting issues, texture issues, graphical bugs, all this stuff. They're fixing them. I could go through every reason why they're doing it, all the technical jargon and how they're doing it. But look, they're working on it. They're gonna make it so this no longer happens. I would have definitely assumed that they were gonna do that, but it's nice that they are telling us as well. They're also remaking the UI, changing the HUD size, the HUD visibility, the menu structure, the quest mark. They're gonna get better quest markers. They're gonna get a better tutorial too. The party UI and party notification will be changed. The chat window will be changed. All these things coming from the fact that the game was indeed for consoles mainly, and now, well, it's gonna be for PC too. At least the UI is gonna be focused on PC too, helping lots with all of these issues. We're also gonna get in-game guides, which is also very cool. So if you ever have a problem with the game, you don't know what to do, boom, you can go get it. Sound is also gonna get reworked. There's gonna be a lot of sound adjustments, so it feels better to play. It feels more impactful. The story is also getting a complete overhaul. That's also interesting. I guess not a lot of people care about story in this MMORPGs, but it's nice that they're going for that. And they're also making it so you have an option to hide the visual effects from other players, so not only you get better performance, but also you're able to see your character when there's other people. I'm not gonna lie, guys, this entire thing, it feels like a complete overhaul again. They're changing the UI, the graphics, the world, the content, the combat, the story. Like, what are they not changing? I'm not really sure how this game is gonna look like after this. I'm not sure when this is gonna come out either. They, of course, will update us on when that is coming, but I also find it a bit weird that they talked about so much on how this beta wasn't supposed to be what the game truly is, right? They said that the beta that we played was an old build. Well, if that's the case, why are you forced to fix all these issues if the actual build was good? Wouldn't you be like, yeah, I mean, I know you guys talked about all these things, but the other build is fine. Wouldn't you just say that? And we're gonna put these other things that, yeah, we need to fix for what you told us. It seems a bit weird to have to make this amount of changes, unless they're talking about the changes that they already made in that build, which seems a bit weird. I don't know. I really want to trust them. I do, guys. I truly do. But it's kind of scary. It's kind of hard to do so when they just feel like all over the place. This is not the real beta, guys. This is another build. The other one is better. But actually, we're going to change it anyways because you guys had so many issues with this. And you guys thought that this was like good. So I don't know. It's all super weird. And I don't know. The entire post also feels like super, like repetitive in some ways. And I'm not gonna say they're lying. I think they might be just really trying to like signify that we're doing changes and we want the game to be good. But it also doesn't give me the biggest confidence that they are actually capable of doing it. We're gonna have to see, and it's definitely reassuring that they're communicating in this manner. And I do appreciate that. And you know, in a lot of ways, I do think they care. I really hope that this goes well, because it is a little bit scary. Okay. I hope them the best. I really hope that this game does well, and I hope that all these things end up going well. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you believe this post. If you don't, I'll leave it in the description down below so you can check it out. And yeah, see you guys around. Subscribe to the channel for more content of this. Bye bye. Ciao.